and the new bright light focusing on what we have to do to make this a destination venue for the city of Fort Wayne is quite appropriate today. My name is Steve Shine, and for some reason, the others in the group appointed me a spokesperson, but I can never figure out how that happens. I want to welcome all of you folks to our meeting today, and in particular, I would like to welcome our community leaders, our neighborhood association representatives, elected officials, and community businesses, homes, and property owners. Among the leadership team of the Broadway Corridor Project are the following individuals who I would appreciate to stand up, or if you're already standing, to raise your hand. They are Tim Guloff of Guloff Jordan Surveying, in the back there. Jerry and Chris Rondos of George's International Grocery and Bakery. Brian Schaffer of Metro Real Estate. Brian. Nancy Shanley of Intrascape. Very good. Barbara Schottman of St. Joe Hospital. Blaine Stuckey of Mad Anthony Brewing Company. There he is. And Gary Chappell of Chappell's Crow Grill and Seafood Market. Let's give those folks a great hand for their leadership on what we're doing here today. I would also like to thank these other members of the private sector who have put their faith and commitment into the Broadway Corridor and have given of their services to date so that we could make this all possible. You'll be hearing just a few moments from Mindy Hambrick and Sue Duff from the Design Factory. They'll be talking in a few minutes about our new website location. A special thank you to Tim Borney of the Asher Agency for providing us with the graphic that you will be seeing in just a moment. We appreciate Tim's commitment to the neighborhood. Mayor Tom Henry, one of the most approachable individuals who is committed to the betterment of the neighborhoods that I have ever met. He was very, very receptive to this idea. In fact, he gave the idea to me, and I thank him for that. Let's have a round of applause for Mayor Tom. I also appreciate the efforts of our 5th District City Councilman, your representative, Tim Pate. Is Tim here? We're spending your money, Tim. Where are you? All right, he'll be here later. I never knew him to miss a public introduction, so we'll have to put that on the first list there. I'd also like to acknowledge our at-large City Council representatives. I saw Marty Bender here, and I think John Schoaf is here. John Schoaf is here. And Liz Brown, is Liz here? She had another engagement she was going to try to make it. And 1st District City Councilman Tom Smith, who will also have something to say a little bit later on. Let's give all of our city leaders a big thank you. I also want to thank the news media, the Journal-Gazette and News Sentinel for helping us. Matt McCutcheon from News Channel 15, who broke the story for us a couple of weeks ago, and has been very helpful. And I also want to give a special thank you to Todd Harrison from 21 Alive. Todd, where are you? Right back here. Todd, and this is very exciting, has agreed to have 21's Skycam positioned permanently on the Broadway Corridor. And that means that we will get a bump every time they go to traffic and or weather on the Broadway Corridor, helping businesses focus on being prominent in Fort Wayne. Todd, I thank you. Thank you very much for doing that. I know that Todd even has a way, probably a list a mile long of how you can even get your name on the Skycam to identify your area, the Broadway Corridor. But we thank you and Jerry Giesler for getting that done for us. Let me start here by describing what is the Broadway Corridor. The Broadway Corridor is the 2-mile stretch of the traffic artery bordered on the north by St. Joe Hospital and the Fort Wayne newspapers at Main Street, and on the south at Broadway and Rudisill, which is, as you know, the gateway to Foster Park. those are not too bad of buffers on either end to have in a community which we are trying to create. A hospital, a major newspaper, and one of the most beautiful parks in the state of Indiana basically provide us a buffer and boundaries for this great Broadway Corridor Project. What is the Broadway Corridor Project? It is an effort to create and coordinate a pop culture-like atmosphere, eclectic atmosphere, using the existing assets along the 2-mile corridor, and then improving upon and using the other assets that may need help to blend in with our sense of this community. Now, what are the existing assets, and how will we improve the existing areas which may need to, the areas which may need some help? Mayor Henry is going to talk about that in just a moment. But at the sake of forgetting somebody, I want you to think about these assets that are on just this 2-mile corridor. Foster Park, Gowdy's, the Broadway Plaza, Dr. Jim Potts' office complex, Chapels, the Mad Anthony Brewery, Imagine Schools, George's International Grocery and Bakery, the Firefighters Union, Intrascape, St. Joe Hospital, Fort Wayne Newspapers, Betty's Antiques, the Three Rivers Food Co-op, and of course, the iconic Zesto. Don't change a thing at Zesto. That is going to basically be the motivation. We want to become like you. Don't you become like us, please. How is it possible? How are we going to take existing properties that may need help and existing businesses that may need help? Well, we're going to talk today about a facade brand, and I'm going to introduce the mayor in just a second. But just from personal experience, please. 11 years ago, my business partner and friend, Joel Freemian, said, "Do you want to buy the Cinema Blue building?" And I said, "Not particularly." He said, "It's going to hit the wrecking ball very soon." He says, "Why don't you come down and take a look at it?" So we came down here 11 years ago. This is the Cinema Blue building. It was probably the greatest eyesore in the city of Fort Wayne. We couldn't get in the front door because all the trash that had accumulated over the about 15 years of being vacant after the Supreme Court closed this building for being a porno theater. There was no ceiling. There were no walls. The only noise in here was the sound of varmints jumping in and out of the water that was on the floor. I immediately ran back to my office in South Park Center to commit Joel. But thanks to Joel and my other business partner, Phil Terrell, they talked me into getting this, along with working with two of the greatest restaurateurs in the city, in addition to Pam and Gary. And that's Mike and Maureen Catalona. And their vision put what was a building ready to go to the wrecking ball to become a 5-star restaurant in Fort Wayne. And so this December of 2008, the Catablu will mark 10 years in this location and never missing a beat. So it can be done, and it will be done. And now let me introduce you to the president of the Business Owners on Broadway, Nancy Shanley, who's going to talk to you a little bit about her organization, and then we'll introduce Mayor Henry. Nancy?